Okay, so I'm gonna have to do this in clips this week because I want to get these sent out to people before it gets too late in the week, because I know some people are kind of waiting on it, and I've used them for the promotional purposes that I'm going to. So the sooner I get them in the mail, the better I'll feel. I just wanted to show everybody some of the stuff I've been working on this week, which rolls into my weekly sketchbook stuff too. But I just wanted to show this. Like, this right here is Reynard from, or Reynard. I still don't know which way to pronounce it correctly. And this is Vermince's character, and he was nice enough to let me use his character for my commission promotion. And I really like how this turned out. Like, the clothing turned out super nice, and his little belly turned out really nice. I'm very happy about that belly. But yeah, so there's that one. I did end up finishing Aaron Moxing's Vinny, and he was very happy with it, which I'm, of course, just totally happy to hear, because, you know, it's one thing to make art for people and them appreciate it, but for them to really appreciate it, because I don't know, there's times where I just don't feel like I'm good enough to do anything for anybody and have it be appreciated. But he seemed to enjoy it, so I'm going to go ahead and get his address and send him this, because that's always my deal, is if I use excuse me, if I use the person's character in my promotional pieces, and they get the original for free, just because I think it's a fair trade. And then I used Trevor, and I did this a while ago. It's actually laminated and everything, so this is going to end up getting sent to GS later on this week, once I get around to it. I can actually send this one off today if I hurry. And then there's my other promotional pieces, which are actually mine. And then I did Goku, and I think it's pronounced, not Goku, I'm sorry, Bardock. And I don't know if it's Jin or Jean, or I pronounce it Janae just because, like, I know the pronunciations, but it could be wrong. I'm not 100% sure. But whatever. I didn't realize that Akira Toriyama had actually come out with a story about Goku's mother. So I was like geeking out over that. So I drew them just kind of as a part of the promotional piece. And then I decided to do an Akane and a female Rama, just to kind of bring things together and show people, like, you know, I can do like anime styles. They're not my favorite, but I can do them. So I just wanted to show people that. And I think this is it. And if I get any more commissions before I mail them out, I'll go ahead and do a quick clip of them, because they count as my weekly art. And yeah, but that's it for right now. I'm gonna do, obviously I've got way more sketches that I've got to get done, and for the week, and I've already done them, but I'll just save those for the big review on Tuesday night or Wednesday, or whenever I get around to doing it. I just wanted to show these before I threw them into envelopes. But alright, and I'll be back with the sketches later on. Hey everybody, it's May 5th, and it's time for my sketchbook review. This week I did quite a bit of different work, not necessarily just sketching. I did open up my commissions, and I've got my information on my DeviantArt, and I needed to do some artwork beforehand to kind of display what I could do, because I'm doing traditional pieces instead of my normal digital. So what I ended up doing is I pulled this old sketch of Reynard, whatever. Again, still can't pronounce it. And I went ahead and I inked and colored that one. And I have a clip of all the art that I did beforehand, before I packaged it up, because I've already mailed it off to the people who are getting it. So I'll have to try to insert that clip somewhere in here. It's probably going to be a long video because of that this week, but we'll see what I can do. But I pulled this old sketch out of Ray, and I did him. And then I did Vinny. I finished that one, and I'm going to go ahead and send the original off to Aaron. It's actually already on its way, so whatever. Should be there. I sent it yesterday, so it should be there by the end of the week. So if you guys are watching this, just keep an eye on your mailboxes, because they'll be showing up by about the end of the week or so. Depending, I don't know. I know that at least for one of you it might be a little bit longer, just because of the distance. And I've sent people packages before out in that direction, and it's taken a little bit over a week. But when it's just an envelope, because that's how they send it, it's just an envelope, it shouldn't take that long. I decided to do something kind of to showcase and display that I could do more than just like animal characters. Honestly, up until this year, I never did animal characters. I just didn't enjoy it, but I've come to enjoy it. So I did a quick Rama and Akane that, it turned out alright, but Akane's hair was a little bit muddied, but not a whole lot I could do about that at this point. And I don't know, as a couple I do enjoy them. And then I got a commission, so then I was working on commission sketches for that person, and that's Cassie. And this was the one we ultimately decided to go with. This is actually quite a bit larger than, because the finished product is on a 5x8, which is about this size. Whoop. And I wanted to fit like all the details in the hair and everything. So, and I'm very, very tempted to finish this and do this one digitally to go along like as an accompanying piece or some crap like that. I haven't really decided. I really like this, and I like it close up, and that's what they had ordered was a portrait, but because I wanted all the detail of the hair and everything in it, I actually made it a bit bigger than a portrait, and you guys will see in a second. Yeah. And then just another extra sketch on here just because I like to give people options. And then the final piece that ended up, and I had this packaged up and ready to go, and then I pulled it out. Oh man. See, the light does terrible things. There we go. Well, it's still doing terrible things. It looks so much different in real life. The camera just can never really, because of the shine from the marker work, it catches it all the time and it kind of makes it weird. But I'm very happy with how it turned out. And like I said, I already had it packaged up and ready to go, and I was like, oh, I should put that in the sketchbook review. So I tore open the packaging and pulled it out, and I'm going to put it back in the packaging and send it off later on today. But that's on its way. I don't know how long it'll take because of where you are, but it should be there relatively soon. Alright, and then I did a doodle of Goku and his wife, or not, I keep saying that, it's not Goku, it's Bardock. And there's a final piece of this one that I used in my promotional video. I made the same mistake too on the promotional videos. I said Goku instead of Bardock. I was working on more ducks. I got the commission request, but I didn't have a pose, so I was just kind of going through and doing all sorts of poses and stuff like that just to kind of get warmed up and get ready to go. So a lot of these are just scribbles of that character over and over and over again. And I was like trying to think of like playful hair flips and blowing kisses and things like that. So yeah. And then I was thinking holding a microphone, and yeah. This one, like, I feel like her body is too small for her head, but I also know it's because her hair is kind of, I made it big. Because, you know, big poofy hair is awesome. Actually, I would have brought the hairline down a little bit. But I did enjoy this sketch too. I don't know if I ever plan on finishing it or not, but I did enjoy it. And then I took a break to do some Amy. There's supposed to be like a stripping pole here, but I just didn't finish it. And I'm pretty sure I went to bed at this point because I got the commission request pretty late. And I was up until about 4 o'clock in the morning doing sketches, which is bad because that's like my creative time. But I'm starting school again tomorrow, and I've been on a going to bed at 4 a.m. kick all week long. So I have to kind of kick myself back. I probably will take some sort of a sleeping aid. But whatever. So yeah, I start school back tomorrow. And then I was thinking about Julius's and Amy's son. And that's kind of Azrael, and that's what I came up with. And I was going to do Amy with her hair up, and then I was working on more Cassie over here. I was just kind of doing a full body things. Again, I wasn't sure what exactly they were going to want, so worked on that. Oh, and I'm very tired, you guys, because I made myself get up early, so I'd be sleepy for tonight. So, let's move on. Then Scarlett in her pimp glory. God, I love this character. I was having a lot of fun with this one. What I was doing was, I used to watch Sorcerer Hunters back in the day, and I used to have the comics. And I always loved the girls, well, not Chocolate so much because she was basically just wearing strings, but Tira's costumes always, not from the anime she wore that orange and white thing. It looked like a creamsicle, but the manga, they always wore like the black gear and everything like that. I really, really liked it, and I'm like, oh, you know, I got a lot of enjoyment out of drawing girls, because that was kind of something I did back in the day, was I used to draw chicks in lingerie because I just enjoyed it. I liked drawing it. So Scarlett is actually a pretty good outlet for that. And just as a warning, it gets a little bit worse than this in my sketches this week, so you know, if you've got kids watching or whatever, just kind of tune it out past this point. Or I'll give another warning and then you can tune it out. But I don't know. When I deal with Scarlett, I always have to go not suitable for work, because that's just what she is not suitable for work. Another Cassie sketch. I don't think I ever showed this one. I was having more fun with her. I was like trying to loosen the figure up and whatever. I actually do like this one. By the time I got done sketching this, they'd already approved another one, and I was like, alright, well, we'll just go with that. And, yeah. And then I was doing a Grumpy Piper that I never finished. Okay, I promise I'll stop yawning. And then that's it, and the sketchbook is pretty much done. There's a few pages in the back, but I like to always leave a few pages, because what I tend to start doing is like these loose pages here that I've had to pull out. They won't just go back in, so I have to have paper in there to kind of hold it in place. So I just tuck this into the paper in the back, and then you get like pencil marks all over the backs and fronts of the pages. So I just kind of say, we're done with it, and you know, we'll just use those pages to hold other pages in. And then that is actually the completion of one of these sketchbooks, 120 sheets, give or take a few sheets. So I finished that, and then it was so beautiful this weekend that I wanted to sketch outdoors. So I went and I grabbed my littler sketchbook, and I got going with that. So this I put up like everywhere. It's a picture of Lydia. She's holding a bouquet of flowers. Now initially people were like, or at least one person was like, oh, she's just getting flowers from her admirers. Not true. Lydia doesn't really have any admirers as far as I know. I mean, there's a couple people who've said that they like her character and everything, but she really doesn't have any admirers. Like, I don't envision her as that kind of person. But she's friends with Cassie, and Cassie has tons of admirers, and Lydia is one of them. You know, it's her friend, and she loves her friend. So this was actually supposed to be her. She doesn't look comfortable because she's out in a crowd, and that's my lame crowd in the background. And she's just waiting for a concert to end to give flowers to her friend because, you know. And I imagine at some point there's a conversation, and Cassie probably asks her why she doesn't come to more of her concerts. And then that's probably when Lydia would say, I just don't like having all the people around. Because, I don't know, I'm not a concert person myself. I've gone to a couple of them. Granted, the genre of music was not ideal for my first concert either. So going to a 9 Inch Nails concert for the first thing was not the best. Not when you're watching people get knocked out and dragged out, and it was pretty bad. But personally, I just don't like being around big crowds of people like that. I like being around like smaller crowds of people and having fun and talking and whatever, and I imagine Lydia is very much the same way. And then I drew a picture of Cassie and Lydia. This is Lydia post Lucifer probably, and I know that for a little while there's probably no way around it. There will be an awkward phase between the two girls because that's her brother. That's Cassie's brother. So I don't know, but I know Lydia's going to be messed up from the whole ordeal, and I'm hoping that like Cassie's there as a good friend to help her. And that's kind of what I was picturing here, is Lydia's kind of doing her breakdown thing, and Cassie's there helping her out. And I was drawing Darkwing Duck and Gosalyn, and she's beating him up with a pillow. And then I drew Rapunzel. This was one of those weird things I just started sketching and sketching and sketching, and then this kind of came out of it. And so it looked so good, I decided that I was going to finish it. So I've got a finished Rapunzel. This is a 5x8 Copic drawing and coloring. There's some color pencil in there because I didn't have enough colors really to give the blonde hair the depth that I wanted, but there's parts of it that I really, really like. If it'll focus, yeah. Like the hair and the face. Like I even got a little bit of the blush in the face, which I normally cannot do, but I did this time, so I'm very happy. The hair turned out gorgeous. I had a couple little mistakes here where the dress kind of went into it, but there's not a whole lot you could do about that. That just happens when you're working with markers. The background I'm pretty impressed with, because normally my backgrounds suck, and I don't know, a simple tree seemed to fit the bill. So yeah, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. I would like to sell it ultimately, but I don't think anybody's interested in buying my work, so I'll probably just keep it around the house to look at it and say, oh, I did a pretty thing. And then I was talking with Melicia's creator, and we were talking about Scarlett, and she was saying how Scarlett's hair excuse me, is kind of blocky and difficult, so I kind of just did a simple layout of how I envision her hair. It comes in 3 parts, but it really is only 2. It's like there's this front part that goes back, straight back, and whatever it does from this point on is just like normal hair, so it's not set in stone. There's not a set way, because her hair is never the same way twice. And up here, and as it goes back, if I can do this one-handed, which I'm sure I can. From here and as it goes back, I know I tend to, I kind of just, you know, do one of those things, because past this point, it's freedom. As long as, when the hair is being drawn, like, I always make sure that I keep this back, all the way back, no matter what. This goes all the way back, because then the hair comes out from down here. And that's kind of how I do her hair. And then a front view, a quick one. I even did it in multiple colors. And somebody, it was great, I think, said something to the degree of, oh, you know, looking inside of how you do your characters. Like, you guys don't understand. I normally do not put this much thought into a character or their design. Really, I just draw what I like and I go with it. But when people are confused on how to draw things that I draw, I'm more than happy to show them how I do it. Or at least I can make sense of it. As much sense as it can. But alright, so from this point on, this is like the not suitable for work stuff. There's not like full-on nudity, but, well, yeah, there is. But there is suggestiveness, so whatever. If you've got kids, just stop watching right now. I'm warning you. Y'all know. Don't watch past this point. La-di-da-di-da-di. If you're on my Tumblr, you've already seen it, so don't even worry about that. But, like, my Facebook friends and stuff like that, just stop watching. Stop watching. Stop watching. Stop watching. Stop watching. And honestly, again, it's Scarlett's fault. Honestly, it's the character, because I'm trying to develop her more. I've got Piper down. Piper has a character, a background set, characters to interact with, and everything like that. Scarlett is basically, for me, a nobody at this point, but there is a character there, and I want to bring her out a little bit more. But in bringing her out, it's going to mean showing not suitable things, because she is dun, da, 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 a porn star, and we all know it. She's good at what she does. But anyway, this, honestly, I was again inspired by Whore, by, yeah, whatever. Like, I was trying to do more of like and I probably should have just used my finger. Yeah, see, I could have just blended it. More of a faded eyeshadow. Like, normally she does the Kim Kardashian thing, which is funny because I didn't even plan it out, but then when I looked at Kim Kardashian, because I barely know who that is, I was like, oh crap, you know, she does like this natural sort of makeup thing, and that's basically what Scarlett does, is she wears makeup, but she makes it look natural. So like a nude, yeah, they call it nude. So putting makeup on Scarlett just seemed awkward, and it was, but she got dressed up for this. She's kind of into a lot of gore and things like that. And that's why she came up with the whole Chicks with Chainsaw line and yada yada yada. Like, it's this whole like developmental thing. And yeah, so this is blood for those of you who are unaware. I can't like draw blood, but and there's blood on this, and she's actually drinking some whiskey, but I imagine she's being interrupted by Militia, so it is what it is. But I just doodled this out real quick because I had this idea in mind of something I wanted to do with her, and I'm thinking I'm gonna go ahead and do it now that I can. So we'll see. But yeah, my slut duck. That's what she is. Her and Amy. Only it's funny because like Amy actually takes her clothes off and Scarlett very rarely does. But for some reason, like in this picture, I just didn't draw clothes on her. This again was one of, I'll take credit for, you know, the work, but the idea was not mine. The idea was Militia's. And because I asked her what I should draw Scarlett doing, and she said eating a banana. And I was like, well, you know, she's not just going to eat a banana the way normal people do. So I did this, and yeah, I tossed this up on Tumblr, so people have seen it. Again, you can see up here like the break in the hair that I really try to keep. And like she has this really, really predominant widow's peak. I wasn't going for full-on Vegeta, but it kind of in some pictures looks like Vegeta because of how it goes down. And it's a flat widow's peak. It's not like a peaked widow's peak, which is funny, but yeah, that's just, yeah. And no, it's not Lily. I know people confuse her with Lily. They look very similar, uncolored, because Scarlett is tan and Lily is white, and Lily's got bangs like parted in the middle and Scarlett's just like slicked back. And I understand the confusion, so it just comes with the territory. It wasn't an intentional, she looks like Lily sort of design, but in black and white, I guess they all look the same. And then I grabbed my blue pencil because I was like, why am I using my graphite pencil in this book? And I finally found my blue pencil, and then I was doing this. Now she's holding the rope and pulling it. Now she's not tied up or anything. Excuse me, I just had breakfast, and she's pulling something toward her. I haven't really decided, but again, porn star, she has her kinks. So the hair on this turned out gorgeous. I can't get over it. I was just sitting there scribbling, and I was like frustrated at the time. So I was just scribbling and scribbling and scribbling, and it turned out. And I love it when that happens because it so rarely happens for me. Look at her hair, it's so gorgeous. So yeah, and that's my little Scarlett. She's actually wearing clothes in this one. I mean, which you barely could call clothes, but she's wearing them. Yay. And that's it for this week. I'm actually to another middle of my signature, and I need to turn these down. But I also wanted to show this, is just so people get an idea. Okay, so what I ended up doing, and I have so many copies of this because I was using my brush pen on this one, and I realized it was just too small, and I just didn't have good enough control. And I don't feel right sending crap to people. I shouldn't say crap. I don't feel right sending unquality work to people. So I scrapped this, but what I did is, this is Comic Bristol. And this is what I normally would do my commissions on. And this is just like a note card material. But I'm really happy with it. I mean, this is the front, and I did some good layering and everything on it. And it barely bleeds through. It only in like the really big spots where I really push hard. And then this is just one stroke, so it goes straight through. Now, I mean, I like my Comic Bristol. It's a little bit more difficult to work with, but I do like it. So I think from now on, my commissions are going to be on that stuff. And yeah, so I did this one, and then I did this one, but then I realized that the eye looks really messed up. So I was like, well, I can't send that to her now that I've noticed that. So I redid the whole thing again. So I was very upset with myself over this whole thing because I like inked it so many times. And then I finally came out with this. And the sad part is you can barely see the inks because of the Copic. But I was very happy with this, how this one came out. So, you know, no, I'm happy I redid it so many times because now I know I'm sending a quality piece instead of just junk. But I'm using these for scrap at this point, so Yeah, so that's my sketchbook video for the week. Again, there was some color works, there was lots of sketches, and not as many as I was hoping I would have, but my time was not necessarily limited. It's just that I wanted to get things ready for next semester. And I wanted to sleep, and I wanted to spend time with my husband because he just, yeah, we don't get to see each other very much. Like, everyone thinks that we're always together, but we're not. Like, I'm usually home by myself or at school, and he's at work like 10 to 12 hours a day. So we don't get to see each other very much, and I wanted to spend a little bit of time with him before I started. This is like, the next 7 weeks are supposed to be difficult. There's supposed to be a harder class. I mean, I say that every semester, but we'll see. I haven't looked at the material yet. They just sent us the material like late last night because they finally figured out that Blackboard was not up and working. So I have to print out like 5,000 pages of notes, and really it's probably only like 5, but I'm going to add 3 zeros on there to be dramatic, and I have to get my 3-ring binder put together because if I don't do it now, I will not be organized all semester. And I have my uniforms in the wash right now and my lab coat, and then I have to dry them, and then I have to iron them, and then I have to hang them for tomorrow. And I think there was something else I was supposed to do, but I can't really think of what it was right now. And I know I have to work out. I have to do at least a half an hour tonight, so yeah, there's stuff to be done. But this video is already going to be incredibly long because I've got to clip in the other portion still, so it might actually just come at the end because I'm lazy, but whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this week's video. If you did, go ahead and like and subscribe, leave a comment in the comment section, blah 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 blah, and I hope everybody has a good week. For those of you who are going back, who are starting back to school for your spring semester, I wish y'all a really awesome spring semester. So yeah, I will see you guys next week.